Going to see now Be'ez Hashem Yisbarach Daf Lamed Hey of Sech Avodah Zarah. Telling the Mishnah, Belius shenichnas le'ir, an army that's seeking for food that came into a town, in the Yiddish town Eretz Yisrael. They're looking for the Romans. They used to go around from place to place, and they're looking for lodging, for shelter, for food. So the Mishnah says, B'shas Shalom, if it's a time of peace, Chavius Pesuchas Asuras is Tumas Mutaras. Then the barrels that are open as Asur means they probably touched the wine, and you cannot drink the wine. If it's closed, obviously nothing happened. Shas Muchama, if it's a time of war, then even the open ones are also permitted to drink. She'ein Panai Nasach, because they have no time to touch the wine, they're too busy with the war. So this Mishnah, according to the simple way, it means that if the army is there because they have to fight with some different nation, let's say the Romans have to fight with the Greeks or the Persians, so they're in the middle of a war with a different nation, and they're using the Jewish towns the troops have to sleep somewhere, they have to eat, but they're too busy with the war, they don't have time to do this. But the Gemara is going to say a different shot. So we're just giving an introduction to say what's the simple meaning. The Gemara is going to say a different meaning. So this piece of the Gemara belongs above. I don't know how it got into here. It talks about the stands of the idols. We're scared that a Jew worshipped the idol. He was scared. It was Shas Hashmad. It was times that the Romans persecuted the Jews and they were forced to worship the idol. So we see from that, now the din is, if a Jew worships the idol, then it becomes Aser Ba'na. You cannot nullify this idol. So we see from this, that if once a Jew worshipped it, he cannot nullify it anymore. And that's why, even later, after they stopped worshipping, they stopped Shas Hashmad, you cannot do anything to make this stand Mutter B'Hanor. It's Aser B'Hanor, that's the din. Not another din, Shema Menav, it's Zosh of the Yisrael Korche, even though it was forcefully done, they worshipped it because they were scared, they would be killed. Still, nevertheless, the idol becomes Aser, and the stand becomes Aser, and there's no way to permit it. And I'll go to the main Mishnah. We're talking about Belius. Belius means a group of soldiers that are seeking for food. The literal meaning of Belius means seekers, but it means they come in, they're hungry, and they go around, they're looting, find something to eat. So Rabbi Yochanan says an interesting pshat here. What means B'shas Shalom? He says, B'shloim Belius iva Melchemes Belius. So first I'll translate it literal, then I'll say what it means. It means the peace, that the troop is in peace, or the troops are in war. So it's not 100% clear what it means, but I hope I'm saying the right pshat. It means like this, that if the Jews in that town welcome the troops, they say, yes, for sure, come, we want you here, we want to help you out. So then, even though they're actually coming because of the war circumstances, they're coming there to fight against other, it's still considered that the Jewish people are hospitable towards them, so it means they feel comfortable, they can be menasach. Mechemes Belius means they just come in and raid the town, and the Jews don't feel that they're not doing the right thing. At least they're not trying to put up some fight against them. So it's not, they feel that the Romans are here just to make trouble. So then we say they're not going to be Manasseh the Yayin. They'll be busy fighting against the Jews instead of touching the wine. It's not a lot of hardships here. First of all, we have to know if that's true, that the Jews were able to put up a fight against the Romans. And also it's a hard B'Chemes Belius, but the other pshatim around, so everybody can choose his own pshat. I think this is the true pshat. Yeah. Chivya mipara, there was a snake that was running, basrei, nafel laguva, and it fell into a boir, into a vat of wine. Also, uv the camera rabbanon, it came a story for the rabbanon, va'achshavim. He said it's kosher. He said it's kosher. It's not a problem. Said it's not a problem. So the Gemara, Amran ein penai lehatel eres. He's running away. He's running away, escaping. He's actually trying to run after somebody to bite him. So he fell into, while he was running, he fell into the wine. So he doesn't have time to put eres because he was busy running. Interesting. When the snake is running after a person, then at that time he doesn't have. When he falls into the boir, he doesn't put poison in the boir. Okay, continue further. Umanim Yisrael, workers, Jewish workers, Yayin Nesech. They send them for payment, instead of paying them in dollars, they send them a barrel of wine. Mutish Yomiloi 10 lon was the mel. We don't need this wine because they obviously they can't use it. The Jew cannot use the wine of a goy. So he says, you know what? Instead of that, give me $100. Once the Jew took it, accepted as a payment, then it's already. If he trades it with money, it's like he's having deriving pleasure from Yayin Nesech. That's usher. So it's too late. He cannot do anything. He has to throw it in the ocean. He can't do anything with it. If he made up a price, he said each gallon cost $1. Each gallon of wine costs $1. And then he picks up his big barrel. He starts pouring into the goyish vessel. Then he say that it's okay. Mod actually pasak, however, if he was moided before he poured from his barrel into the goy's bucket or something that the goy takes to receive the wine, and then he says, you know what? I'm charging you for each gallon $1. Then dam of asur. So this is based on a very important concept in Choshen Mishpat, that you cannot acquire possession of anything, even if you take it into you do all kinds of things that you pick it up, you take it into your reshus, as long as you do not make up a price. Very important concept. It's called Pisuq Damim. That's the most important factor. So if you pour the bucket of wine into the goy's keli, the goy's vessel, and you did not make up an exact price, so what happens is, right now, the goy does not acquire ownership of this wine. And then you tell him, okay, I'll charge you $1 a gallon. That's when the goy acquires ownership. But then you cannot take money anymore because it's Yayin Nesech already. Once it entered the goy's keli has a lot of wine in it. So that's why you must first make up the price. Like this, when you take your measuring cup, you take the seller usually has a measuring cup. He measures gallons, whatever, quarts. So the second he pours it in, before it has a chance to become nesach, the goy is koine. Exactly how it works, you can ask a question that when it enters the keli, it's already, before it enters the floor, that's already very technical, but the point is it happens a second before the yayin becomes nesach. That's when the goy is koine, he acquires ownership. And if so, the Yid can take money because he didn't take money for prohibited wine. The wine did not become prohibited yet. He took the money for kosher wine. That's the essence of the Mishnah. You see, now say similar halacha here. So not less mashpich. He took a funnel. A guy has a bottle, and he takes a funnel. He pours in, then he takes the funnel. Then we say if there's a certain stopper of wine. So there's certain funnels that have a piece that can collect some wine. Something gets stuck there. Also, because then what happens is that the wine from the Goyish bottle gets stuck in that funnel, and then that wine gets returned into the Jewish bottle. So he has to rinse it, get rid of all the wine that came in from the Goyish bottle. So we're not talking here about the money issue here, because I guess maybe when he pours it, it still didn't get stuck. Something that he worked it out that it shouldn't be a problem of Yayin Nesech. Or actually, it only gets mixed from the Goyish wine. It doesn't become Aser Ba'anah, the whole thing. So I don't know, forget it. Okay, Mishnah does not discuss this. Maybe the guy paid him before he did anything. That could be the case. We don't have an issue here that the wine that went into the Goyish bottle should become aser. For some reason, that's not the issue. Just like in the first part of the Mishnah, if we made up the price before, we say that once it entered the bottle, it's not an issue. It doesn't become aser. He can take the money. But the issue is that when he takes this funnel out and he takes it, puts it in a Jewish bottle, then we have an issue that this funnel has some wine stuck from Yayin Nesech and makes usher the next bottle. Somebody who pours over from a Jewish vessel into a Goyish vessel. The bottle that he poured from that is called A and B. He poured from A to B. And the Yiddish keli is A and the Goyish keli is B. So we say whatever remains in A is mutter. We don't say that it's like a connecting stream that from B to A. But obviously because it is the Goyish keli. And that has Yayin Nesech in it, obviously that's not even needless to say that becomes Aser. The Ikka point of the Mishnah is to say that the keli that he poured from that, we don't say it's connected with the stream, so it should become Aser. It says Dom of Mitarn, Ve'im Osem Shem Yayin Nesech. What happened with Yayin Nesech? He goes on this case where Dom of Mutarin. It's a case where Pasuq actually murdered. He made up a price and then he started measuring. But how can he take the money? When he takes the money, it's already Yayin Nesech. I mean, I understand that he's not, the guy is not touching it. It's because he's coined it right away when it enters the keli, before he has a chance to cut. But the second it enters the keli, it's already Yayin Nesech. How can he take money? How can he take a cash for this? It's already Yayin Nesech when he takes the money. Where answers, it means there's a special delivery service that they deliver in the houses. He sends to the guy. So the way it works is the guy gives money before, and he makes up a price. And then they send some guy to deliver the wine. And then he pours it, so who cares? He got his money already. But I guess in the case where he did not make up a price, so it's considered like he didn't get the money until after the wine becomes usher when they made up a price, then he cannot even take the money that he got already. But if in a case where he got the money and then he sends a guy to deliver the wine, so even though it gets poured, but it's already nikna for the guy, maybe right when it enters the goyish house, could say even that. It's even better. It's a Kinyan chotzer maybe. So when the delivery boy comes with a big barrel, so we say, okay, the guy's koine right away. I think that's the pshat here. Mamela, there's no issue with Yayin Nesech. By the way, this girsa here is very, very. We look in the standard edition. This doesn't belong here. It's somewhere else, and it doesn't. Everybody wants to should do the research himself to figure out what this means. Rav Ba b'Huna b'Shem Rav v'Hain the Nogad b'Zikah. Somebody who pulls. Nogad means Mashiach. He pulls a zikah that is the leather, the wine, used to store it in a leather bag, a leather pouch. And then it became torn. So now we're not talking about Yayin Nesech here. We're talking about a regular case where a person goes and he goes to a store and he wants to buy some bag of wine, leather bag, and when he took it, it got torn, and then the wine spilled. Lo chayav ba. He's not chayav to pay. Why? I guess it's an oinus, and he was not koine yet the wine. This is needed to say, afilu ma la goichanuse. Even if he brought it into a store, leiskaven ela de la yiske bechayrin. So we say he didn't really have in mind to be koine because they were not poisik. We have to write here, very important. Koidem psika. That's the main point here. So we say that he only wanted to grab it, nobody else should take it, but he wasn't koine yet. So if it's happened to oinus, he doesn't have to pay for that bag of wine. Modad achale posak loikona. It says modad achale posak. I'll learn one more piece and then I'll go to a new tape. It says in the Mishnah, if you are measured before the psika, then it's not good. So the Gemara is asking now, Ma'u shetikrin loy kishar pachas. So he's asking a general question, not Yayin Nesech, general. A guy comes to a store and he wants to buy potatoes. And the guy measures 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds. So we say, we don't know the price per pound. If it's 40 cents or 50 cents per pound, we don't know yet. So the question is, if the buyer has any power to say that it's mine, and at least I can take it like a certain price that I need to pay the minimum amount. He's trying to say here, if I understand correctly, that if it gets lost, then he has to pay the minimum amount. I think that's what it means to say. So if that's what it sounds from the question, from the context. The buyer took potatoes, it took 10 pounds, doesn't know per pound how much it is. And then somebody came and stole it and it got lost. So the seller says, at least pay me the lowest, at least 20 cents per pound. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The Tanina Talmud, it says in our Mishnah, I'll say it over in simple language. It says, why in the case of the wine, if he did not make up a price per gallon, we say in our Mishnah, no, then you cannot use the money because the guy was not koine yet anything here. So it means it's still in your possession. And then it became Yayin Nesech. and now you're taking money for Yayin Nesech. But why can't we say that, okay, the guy was kind of something. He was kind of something. He was kind of, at least, that he's mechuyev to pay the least value that's possible to pay for wine. Let's say it gets spilled right away. He still has to pay something. So it means there was a Kinyan in this wine to a certain respect. To a certain extent, there was a Kinyan. He has to pay the minimum. So that if that is a certain Kinyan, it means he was koine it before it became Yayin Nesech. As we said before, that if there is a Kinyan right away when it enters the goyish barrel, then it's not an issue, because we say it's koine when it enters the air, or other reasons. Maybe when he does the actual measurement already, it's koine. But that's what we see from the Mishnah, that if there's already, while you pour the measuring, there's already a Kinyan, because there was already a psika, means there was a certain set price, so then there's no issue of Yayin Nesech. So if we say that every time when there's no psika whatsoever, there is, in essence, a hidden psika, kishara pachas, means at least the guy has to pay the minimum. So why is it considered like it was Jewish wine, and it was still the Jewish that the guy that when it came into his barrel, it was still Jewish wine, and then the guy cannot accept payment for it because it's already Yayin Nesech. No, he say that when he received possession of this, it was still kosher wine. So he is allowed to accept payment for kosher wine. When the guy got possession of this wine, there was a certain Kinyan already, kishar pachas. That's the question. So it's a little bit it's technical, abstract, but this is what the meaning is. It means, it doesn't mean that the person can force, that definitely doesn't mean he can force that he only wants to pay them. It means this sense, I'm going to explain it here what it means. Im nishpach mi mechai vinen lai shalom kishar hapachas. Yeah, that's the meaning. Okay, ma akevas yayin. What does it mean, the word akevas yayin? We'll just learn this and then we'll go to the next. We'll stop the tape. It says the Mishnah has akevas yayin. What does it mean, the word akevas? One explains bahu de malachlach. It means a stopper of wine that you have a funnel and has something inside a piece that gets dirty. It's dirty from blood. So he's not translating the word akevas with kuf, like ma'akev, stop. He translates it with a word with a kuf that means meluchlach, dirty, or something like that. That idea. Smeared up with blood. So it means it's smeared up with wine. Okay, this is going to be the end of daf. We get another shir because it's a long daf. This is Lamed Hey Amad Aleph.